Hello, everyone. Cornell Cruz Jr., Executive Director, Community Reinvestment Alliance of Florida. Welcome to the Just Economy Podcast. I'm your host, Cornell Cruz Jr., and this is sponsored by the Community Reinvestment Alliance of Florida, a statewide membership organization ensuring that the financial institutions reinvest into the community per the Community Reinvestment Act of 1977. We have a very special guest here today from PhilanthropyMiami, Fernanda Jorgensen. We'll get right to her in a second here. But first, a couple of announcements. One, the summit is coming back. Summit 25 will be here May 15th, 2025. It will be at Gulfstream Park. It will be a very, very intriguing summit, probably the most we've had since we've been in existence, with all that's going on in the world right now concerning funding, nonprofits, missions, the Community Reinvestment Act, and so on. This will be our 10th anniversary. So this will be the 10th anniversary celebration of the Community Reinvestment Alliance of Florida. Community Reinvestment Alliance of Florida was founded in 2015 by Arden Shank, and we will be celebrating that milestone as well. So Gulfstream Park, May 15th, 2025, the summit. We will also having tickets going on sale. Early bird tickets will go on sale March 14th. Again, early bird tickets go on sale March 14th for the summit. A couple of other announcements. We will also be conducting a nonprofit financial workshop on March 25th, 10 a.m. That will be via Zoom. Flyer will be coming out shortly. We'll be out early next week. So please take the time to sign up for the nonprofit financial workshop. Also, the nonprofit capacity building project, which went very, very well. The first iteration, we did 24 organizations in the community with grants up to $20,000 for capacity building, and that covered everything from auditing all the way to staffing. The first iteration did 22 organizations. The next iteration will open up in April. Please be on the lookout for that. We'll be doing that again. That was powered by Truist. We were able to build that grant through a grant from Truist Bank, and we're looking forward to partnering with other banks as well to keep this program going. So today we have someone very, very important and a big part of the nonprofit community. PhilanthropyMiami, Fernanda Jorgensen is our guest today. She's the executive director, and she's going to talk about all the good work that PhilanthropyMiami is doing, and we're also going to kick around some ideas too to help build our community and to make our community better. So welcome, Fernanda. Thank you for coming.
Hi, thank you, Cornell. Thank you for having me.
So one of the things I always ask before we get into your organization is, how did you get here? I'm always interested in people's history. How did they get from wherever they were before to now the ED of a nonprofit?
Well, thank you for that question. So my background's actually in public health and anthropology. I thought I wanted to go to medical school my entire life, and then when I got to college, I realized that wasn't really the direction that I wanted to take, and that's where really I discovered my passion for community. And so I ended up getting my master's in public health, and I worked at the University of Miami Medical School for over 11 years on a variety of public health initiatives, the last of 6 years of that at the Ryder Trauma Center, implementing a teletrauma program. And then from there, I got the opportunity to go to the Health Foundation of South Florida, who's a regional funder. And that's where I learned about philanthropy. I was overseeing our investments in primary care and behavioral health, and eventually worked my way up to director of programs and really honed my leadership skills. And then I had this opportunity to become the founding executive director of PhilanthropyMiami, and really took the opportunity because I wanted to really serve the sector as a whole. I think public health gave me a really good perspective into systems thinking. And so how can we support really our sector and be a champion and advocate? And so I've been in the role now for a year and a half. And it's been a really exciting journey so far.
That time flies when you become an ED, doesn't it?
Oh, yes, especially that first year.
Yeah, it just goes by so fast. So, are you a native Floridian or native
I'm not.
Miamian?
I'm originally from Brazil, but
Okay.
I've been in South Florida for over 30 years now.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. Spent a little time in Brazil when I was a kid. My father was stationed there for about 2.5 years.
I remember you telling me.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, enjoyed it immensely. So let's jump in with Philanthropy Miami. So please give us a little insight on the purpose of Philanthropy Miami.
Yeah, the purpose of Philanthropy Miami is it's a couple things. First and foremost, we serve as a neutral convener. We really want to bring people together from a variety of sectors, right? So cross sector collaboration. We also provide capacity building. We really look at it holistically, not just through technical training, but how can we support the sector in terms of long term growth and sustainability. And then the third really purpose is to be in community. I think that Philanthropy Miami, being a neutral convener, we serve as a place where everyone can belong. It doesn't matter where you sit, right? Whether you work as a nonprofit CEO or if you're a funder or if you work in media, I think we all are part of an ecosystem. And then the fourth role is really to be an advocate. So, how can we champion our sector as the crucial problem solvers and contributors to the economy that we are?
You said something that struck me in your first part of your answer, and that was a convener. Um, we also look to be a convener as well. The Community Reinvestment Alliance of Florida looks to be that as well. How do you see your role as a convener?
Yes, that's a great question. So I think our role, again, because we're neutral, right? We serve nonprofits of all shapes and sizes. I think the important part is to really create an authentic space where we can come together to, discuss various issues in the community, particularly between funders and nonprofits. I think sometimes there's a distinguishment, right? Or like nonprofits are over here, funders are over there. But if we can create spaces for us to come together so that we can realize that we're on the same team, and I think that's really an important step to building those authentic relationships.
I'm really glad you said that. I feel the exact same way. I guess it seems to be a real disconnect between funders and not just foundations or even the financial sector. There seems to be a disconnect more so with the social, with our community. And what I mean by that is, I mean the folks who are moving to our community. We have a lot of money moving to Florida, South Florida in particular. There seems to be a disconnect between the organizations and those social impact investors.
Mm.
How do you see us closing that gap?
Well, I think it's really important to engage with people that are coming into the community and make sure that they feel welcomed. If you feel you come to a community, you probably don't know, who's doing what. And there's so many organizations in Miami-Dade County alone. There's over 10,000 registered 501c3s.
Yeah.
When you look at the ones that are really actively contributing to the economy, that number goes down to 2,500, but that's still a very large number. And so helping people that are coming into this town feel like they're part of this community in some way, whether they're giving back or they're getting to know the different nonprofits. So I think, we can play that role in helping people figure out who's doing what and being that connector and that convener. So that's how I see our role.
I really look forward to working with you in that. I was in the Bankers Roundtable yesterday, and Health Services South Florida was there, and they talked about ways to help build the fund. And she had a very, very interesting idea: building a $1 trillion, or correction, a $1 billion fund, so that we can help, so that organizations can go to that fund and apply to that fund in order to help complete their missions, and especially in light of where funding is floating and not floating right now with the funding uncertainty that's going on right in this particular time. I love that idea. The only thing, my only pushback was there needs to be other nonprofits in the room other than the big ones.
Oh, of course.
Other than the ones who already have a name, you know what I mean? Because it's easy to write checks to some of those organizations because they're national organizations, or they're the largest organizations within South Florida. But the smaller organizations down on the ground doing, busting their butts every day, we need them in the room too. And I'm hoping that we can somehow come together and convene that so we can meet up those social impact investors with those folks as well.
Yeah, I mean, Philanthropy Miami serves organizations of all shapes and sizes, but we really prioritize helping those small nonprofits have a platform, and helping them realize the importance of being able to perfect their pitch, making sure they're talking about their impact because they are doing important work, but because they're so busy doing the work,
Exactly.
sometimes they don't have the time or the resources. That's why those, capacity building dollars are so important to help the organizations have the opportunity to share what they're doing and share their impact so that we can get the attention from, the investors coming into the community.
Because it's something, those large organizations have a marketing person. That's all they do, and they can afford to pay a marketing person. That's all they do is the marketing of the organization. Those small organizations don't have that. Those organizations who are $1 million less and less budget don't have that in their budget to do the mission and talk about what it is they do. So I don't know if you agree with me, but I think one of our biggest issues is we don't brag on ourselves enough,
Right.
and we don't do it well.
Right. Well, there's also a lot of redundancy in our sector. I think sometimes there's a little bit of gatekeeping that goes on. People,
This is true.
they want to do things their own way. And so I think there's a lot of opportunity of just even bringing people together and seeing, who's doing what, who's doing similar work. There still can be individual value propositions that's, offered by different organizations, but where are the opportunities to really come and collaborate? Because you're right, the funding ecosystem is going to become uncertain and challenging. And so how can we find those opportunities to collaborate and work together?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to us coming together, both organizations large and small, coming together in order to make a better place for everyone to live and everyone to survive and thrive. I think that having a convener or even several conveners, because different organizations are going to bring different people to the table.
I agree.
Bringing those folks together, but understanding that everybody has to work together, and we can't be gatekeepers, as you put it. I really like that you use that term.
Yeah.
We can't be gatekeepers if the whole object of the game is to make the community better. We cannot be gatekeepers. If we're worried about gatekeeping, then we're not making the community better. Because some organizations do what other organizations may not do, and fill in that void. And we all got to work together. This is a team game. So I look forward to working with you on that.
So in addition to our 2 signature events, we also have programming that's targeting executive directors and senior leaders in the nonprofit community. One, through our partnership with the Nonprofit Executive Alliance, we are expanding the Nonprofit Alliance footprint in Miami-Dade and Monroe County. And this is a social impact coalition of nonprofit CEOs that come together for personal and professional development, but also to have that peer network and to be a unified voice for the sector. Then we also provide some additional capacity building support for our nonprofit leaders through our deep dive series, and that's in partnership with United Way. And we have sessions that cover everything from governance to marketing to fundraising and evaluation. And so we're really proud to be on the 3rd year now of this series.
So the one you partner with the United Way, is that strictly executive? Is that strictly
No,
CEOs?
it's open to anyone really, but it's usually mostly senior leaders and executives because those are really the decision makers. But it's really open to anyone in the community.
Okay. So shameless plug. I am the board chair at this time. I'm the board chair for the Nonprofit Executive Alliance. If you are a CEO or an executive director in Miami-Dade County or Broward County, and you're not a member, we have a problem. I'm joking, but the thing is that this is for CEOs and EDs. We are all together. We all have different issues and the same issues, and we get to talk about it amongst ourselves. And Fernanda heads the Miami-Dade sector of Nonprofit Executive Alliance. This is something that you really, really need to be a member of, and I encourage you to be a member. It is not expensive at all, but the knowledge that you get, the camaraderie that you get, teamwork, networking that you get is something that's invaluable, I think, right?
Oh, absolutely. And we've grown to 150 members across Broward and Miami-Dade, and we're going to keep growing. And so this is really an opportunity, again, to advocate on behalf of our sector as a unit, right? I think we're much louder together than just
Yes.
one organization, and we go through similar things. So why not have that, peer network to be able to bounce back ideas from?
I love that you're a philanthropic organization, but you have programs that are dedicated to the nonprofit sector. And I think if you don't know about Philanthropy Miami, you better go check out that website and the new website, because there are some insightful programs that they're running over there, and that you need to be a part of, because this is not something we can do by ourselves. This is a team game, ladies and gentlemen, a team game. Team means I can't do it without you, and you can't do it without me. So let's be a team. We all have different missions that we want to accomplish. We all have different sectors of the community that we're serving, but we all have the same issues and the same problems that we need to solve, right?
Yeah, and our vision is really a thriving ecosystem, so it's Philanthropy Miami, but philanthropy is an ecosystem. Nonprofits are certainly a part of that. They're a big part of it. So it's funders, it's donors, and it's nonprofits. It's an ecosystem really coming together and working together to improve the community.
I love that. An ecosystem where we're all working together. And we're all a different part. We're all different parts of the stream feeding into the same river, and that's the betterment of the community. That's what it is.
Yep,
that's our total mission, right?
That's right.